Hey everyone, so today I'm going to show you how to make a stuffed animal, and I'm going to make a Yeti. But it's going to be based off of the way I used to draw people when I was younger, and I don't have a drawing of mine from when I was younger here, so I just drew one now, and it looks like this. It's basically just a face with arms and legs. So I drew up a little Yeti and based it off of that. So there it is. It's basically, again, just a face with arms and legs. And it only has 3 pattern pieces, which I'll have links for, where you can print them. So there's the body that you need to cut out twice, the face, you only need 1, and then this tiny little triangle for the teeth, you need to cut out 4, or however many you'd like. And I would recommend using a soft fabric like fleece, or you could use felt too. I'm going to use this. I don't know what it's called, but it's really silky soft and it's kind of furry, and it makes a huge mess when you cut it. And I'm going to use this kind of light greenish terry cloth for the face, and then just white felt for the teeth. And I'm going to use safety eyes, which I've talked about before. It's just these. They snap together and they don't come out. You could use beads or buttons or anything. You're also going to need a sewing machine, pins, scissors, some stuffing, and fray stop and some glue, but those are both optional. Alright, so I'm going to start by cutting out my body pattern piece, this one, and we need 2 of them. So I have my white fabric and I have 2 pieces, just one on top of the other. So I'm just going to lay this pattern piece down, I'm going to pin it down all the way around and then cut around the whole thing with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Alright, so I've got my 2 body pieces cut out, and now you want to take your face pattern piece and cut it out of your other fabric, which I've already done. So there's my face cut out, and this fabric, it's terry cloth, so it does fray a little bit. So I just put a bit of fray stop all around the edge just to keep it from fraying. And now I'm going to take one of my body pieces, and I'm going to put it right side up. I'm going to take my face piece and put it right side up right on top. Let's hold it up. Here you can kind of see it's already starting to look like a little Yeti. So from here you just want to lay out the face, and I also cut out my 4 teeth out of white felt. So I have those, and I'm just going to lay them out, make sure it looks right. Like that, and then I changed my mind. I'm actually going to use 2 black pony beads for the eyes. The safety eyes I had were a little too big for the size that I printed my pattern, so I don't know if you can see that. That's kind of what he's going to look like. And now what I want to do is attach the face to the body. So before I sew it, I'm just going to kind of tack it down with some glue. I'm going to use rubber cement, but you can use a hot glue gun or white glue or anything, or you don't have to do this at all. I just do it so it'll stay in place better when I go to sew it. There, so now my face is tacked down enough that I can sew around it. I'm just going to let it dry for a couple minutes, and then I'm going to just sew around the edge of the face. You can use a zigzag stitch, but I'm just going to use a straight stitch. So now I have the face just sewn on after I glued it. I just use a straight stitch very close to the edge of the face just to hold it on there. And now I'm going to do the exact same with the teeth. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue on the back of each one, set them down. I'll just quickly show you. So just pretend that those are glued down and all straight, and I'm just going to sew a straight line right across the top of all 4 teeth. So I've got my teeth sewn on now. They came out a little crooked, but that's okay because he's a wild Yeti. And if you were using safety eyes like I was going to use, like these, you would attach them now. Same with buttons. If you were going to sew them on, you would want to do it now. But since I'm using beads, I'm just going to glue them on with a hot glue gun once it's finished. So I'm just going to take this piece and lay it right side up. I'm going to take my other body piece and lay it right side down. Just line it up. And now I'm going to start pinning, but I'm going to leave a gap on the top of his head here. So I'm going to start pinning here, go all the way around, and stop about here. So I'm going to leave like a 2-inch gap. So once I'm done pinning that, I'm just going to sew it, and then I'll show you what to do next. Alright, so now I've got both sides sewn together with this little hole in the top of his head. But before we turn it inside out, or right side out, sorry, you want to clip the curves. So right here where the arms are, in there, you want to clip that, and on the outside curves. So anywhere there's an inside and outside curve, you just want to snip it just a couple times. That's just going to make it easier to turn, so I'm just going to do that, and then I'll turn it inside out. Alright, so there's my little Yeti turned right side out, and now I'm just going to stuff him through this hole, and then I'm going to just fold this in on itself and just sew it shut with a needle and thread. Alright, so I finished putting together my Yeti. I stuffed him and then sewed up the hole in his head, and then I glued on his eyes that were beads using a hot glue gun, and here he is. My crazy little Yeti. So, yep, that's it, and I think this would be a really fun project to do with kids. If you get them to draw up a crazy little monster like this or whatever, and then you can bring it to life for them by making a stuffed animal version of it. So, there's my little Yeti, and he says, "Thanks for watching." Bye.